All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight. I am so glad that you have made the time to either come on live or listen to the recording. It's one little step further in moving your business forward. So great job. Thank you so much for doing that. Before we get started and jump into content, I wanted to do a couple of announcements. The first one I wanted to let you know is that Summit is coming up in July. So Kinsey will be starting out a Summit page on Facebook. So if you are going to Summit, you can connect. If you're thinking about going to Summit, you can kind of learn more about it. It is a game changer, you guys. So make sure you check it out. More information on that is coming. The next thing is the 4-week gut control protocol is launching, I believe, March 15th or 16th. So make sure if you're going to lean into that program, spend some time just researching it. I know McKenna has posted graphics about the program. The sample workout is up and ready to go. Go ahead and try it out. See if it's going to be your jam. And then invite others just to try out the sample workout with you. But this is going to be a game changer. A big coach in the Beachbody world, her name is Christina Delgado. She's predicting that this is going to be bigger than 21 Day Fix. And 21 Day Fix was huge. So again, definitely check that out. And then a little bit of recognition. We want to shout out Laura for getting her first 2 Success Club points on the board in her first month of coaching. Congratulations. That's super duper exciting. We're going to jump into some content here, and I'm going to share my screen. If you have questions, feel free to unmute and ask them, or you can put them in the chat box. But we're going to jump into Recruiting 101. That's kind of our theme for the month. So Kinsey, McKenna, and myself will each be spending a week kind of talking about it on our team calls. And it's something that I'm super passionate about. And I know they are too. So we're just going to jump right in. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm on a new computer, so bear with me here. All right. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see everything? Okay, awesome. All right. Okay. So the big thing that I wanted to talk about today is really talking about getting your coaches started off on the right foot. Because again, you are going to sign coaches today that will not be here 1 year from now. And you're going to sign coaches today that are going to be here until the day you die. And so it's so important that helping your coaches getting started right will help that lead them to long-term success. So there's a couple tips that I want to share with you that I do with my coaches, that our team does to really help our coaches set this pathway. The likelihood that a coach will be around is if they start to see success right away. So you want to work with them to establish realistic business goals and work with them based on their time constraints, what their life is like, what their goals are, to make sure it's something that they want to accomplish, not necessarily something that you want to accomplish. Our goals really have to be personal. That's the only way that we're going to actually have any desire or motivation to achieve them. So really working with them and breaking down those small step-by-step goals to help them achieve success. All right. So if you haven't seen this Google Doc, I believe it's actually linked in all of our team pages. So you can check it out on Team Fired Up or Fit Faith Fierce or my page. Go ahead and check it out. It's called I Signed a Coach, Now What? And basically what it is, it's a step-by-step guide about how you, whether you're a new coach or you've been coaching for a long time, how to help your coaches rank advance and add coaches to their team, because really it can seem like a complicated process, and that's because we overcomplicate it. It really is very simple. A coach reached out to you, you signed up, and you just have to show people how to do the same thing. So Kinsey really made this awesome Google Doc that really outlines all of these steps of exactly what you need to do. Basically it's welcoming them, learning more about them and what their goals are, both their health and fitness goals and their personal goals with the business, adding them to the team page and giving them a shout out, picking a start date that they're going to start their challenge group, helping them sign up helping 3 people sign up just the way they did with a challenge pack. And then of course, sending them a new coach checklist of some kind. And we have tons of examples for you about how they can actually move their business forward. I will share this PowerPoint on the team page that has links to all of these things so you can kind of explore them more in depth at your own time. But again, what we do is simple. You just have to take the actionable steps to move your business forward. So the first thing is that I recommend for all of my coaches is doing something that I call U+3. That's helping new coaches getting started right, 3 people getting started right. So again, the best way to do this when a new coach is coming in is generating a list of about 50 people they think of who could benefit from a challenge group or a boot camp. And so these people are people they actually know in real life. This isn't them finding new people they've never met before on Instagram or Facebook. This is people in their life currently that they actually know. Because when you think about this, when you're inviting 3 people, let's say it's your mom, your sister, and your best friend, they are people who want to see you succeed. Most of the time, those are the people who are super supportive of you and want to see you succeed in this. They want to support you, they want to walk with you. And it's a great extra level of accountability when you have people who are close in your life doing this with you. Not to say that if those people aren't in your life are supportive, that doesn't mean you can't be a successful coach, but those are typically the easiest people to reach out to, are the people that you already have relationships with. So I always think about this as like the new pair of shoe example. So like, say you're shopping at a mall, which I live super far away from like a decent mall, but like say you're at a mall or in Nordstrom's and you see like these super cute pair of shoes. You wouldn't hesitate to text your best friend or text your mom or text your girlfriend like, oh my gosh, these shoes are so cute. You need these. You wouldn't hesitate. And that's the same thing with what we do with coaching and inviting to our challenge groups. We are sending that invitation because it's something that we love and that we're passionate about. And you should be able to share it freely, just like you would with a new pair of shoes. So try to have that mindset when you're inviting. Your whole objective is just to share the invitation. You are not responsible if they accept the invitation or not. All you do is have a job to share it with others and invite people along to do this with you. And most of the time, they want to see you succeed. The next thing is having a coming out post. This is a great way to get your coaches started off right. So when they share their coming out post on social media, whether it be Facebook or Instagram or both, you really want to help your coach kind of craft this statement. The statement really just shares about their life maybe before they found Beachbody and how their life has changed because of Beachbody. Because just as a reminder, anybody can go out and sign up at teambeachbody.com and sign up with a challenge pack or sign up for workouts, but that's not what they're doing. They're signing up with you because they feel connected to you. You're sharing a lifestyle that they want to be a part of. They see you getting results and they want you to help them to get there. So this post is really critical. It's awesome if you do have a transformation that you can share, but it's definitely not necessarily. I didn't have a transformation to share when I did my coming out post, and I was still successful in being able to help recruit new people to get started on their fitness journey, because people want to see you succeed again. They want to see you just growing and thriving. They can see all these positive changes that are happening inside of you. And so really crafting that post and sharing your heart about how Beachbody has changed you from the inside out is really, really beautiful. And people want, again, just want to be authentic and help and just be supportive of what you're doing. I remember, if I scrolled back into the archives here, my post, I think I shared a lot about like how I felt like I had a better mindset because of Beachbody. Like I didn't necessarily have all the weight lost. But I just felt like a better, more confident version of me. And you can definitely see that in my transformation. But again, the key after posting your coming out post is following up with all the people who have liked and commented on there. If people are liking or commenting on your posts, they really want to make sure, or they're really trying to encourage you in this. So that's what we call a warm invite. Like if they're going to like something or comment something, that's an open invitation to invite them. And again, they get to make the decision for themselves if they want to join you or not. So it's not like there's any pressure there from you. We have to remove ourselves from that idea of I'm a good coach, I'm a bad coach if somebody signs up with me. Because every time you invite somebody, you're planting a seed. And as we know, seeds don't grow overnight. You have to be consistent in your own journey. You have to be consistent with sharing with other people, and those seeds will start to sprout. And just like crops all over the world, they sprout at different times. So as long as you're watering and nurturing those seeds, sending those invites, connecting with those people, being genuine in who you are, sharing your own story, those seeds will harvest at some point. The next thing I want to talk about is helping your coaches get started on social media. So this can be a big thing, especially if newer coaches don't have a big social media footprint when they get started. So the big thing I like to remember or remind new coaches is that when you start on social media, Beachbody is just a part of who you are. It doesn't become everything that you are. So you really have to find a balance about talking about your own personal health and fitness and coaching with your real life. So if you kind of look at this bar graph, I would say like 25% of what I talk about is coaching. The other 25% is health and fitness. And then 50% is my real life. And again, people are attracted to you. They're attracted to the lifestyle that you have. So it's so important that you share the balance of all the good things and the bad things, and how health and fitness and how coaching can be incorporated into that. So a more accurate representation of what my social media looks like is broken down into something like this. And again, this is just for me. But if I were to kind of break it down about what I post about, it would be I'm a full-time teacher. So I talk about teaching about 15% of the time, coaching 15% of the time, fitness 20% of the time. And I would say like the fitness piece and the coaching piece put together would make up Beachbody, right? So if you were to add those up, I should know this because I'm a teacher, that's about 35% of what I post on social media. The other 20% is my family. And then these other pieces are kind of small, but it's how you integrate Beachbody into that. So like, for example, I wrote that I talk about 10% about the time I talk about motivation, but doesn't motivation also inspire you to work out? So you're kind of like breadcrumbing Beachbody into that. My daily activities, when they see me drinking my shake, drinking my water, sharing a meal that I'm eating. Again, I'm not screaming Beachbody, but they're seeing how that is all connected. And then my faith and my personal development. Again, small pieces of how that's connected to Beachbody. So really sharing the authentic version of who you are is going to help them be more comfortable with sharing on social media. So again, if you aren't posting on social media, people have no idea what you're doing. You know, there's always that saying that says, if you don't post it, it never happened. But it's kind of true when you're building a business, right? Like if you never post that you have a challenge group, or you never post what workout you're doing, people aren't going to know. So it's important that you're sharing those pieces with your audience every single day that fits who you are and your lifestyle. And again, it's not like you're throwing up stock photos. You know, it's just you sharing your journey, because people are going to be interested in what you are doing. And this last piece with social media that I help with my coaches is using some type of social media stories checklist, because it can seem overwhelming at the beginning, especially if you don't post on social media regularly. You're like, I don't even know what to post. So this is something that I send to my coaches, which is just a list of a couple of ideas. And I tell them to shoot for about 80 to 90% on these every single day. And this is how Beachbody gets incorporated. So all of these things fall in to that little pie graph that I showed you about what I post on my stories. It helps give you a more well-rounded social media and helps balance Beachbody and their everyday life. You know, and a lot of times what happens, our coaches are really good about sharing about all the fitness pieces or the nutrition piece, but then they forget who they are. You know, they forget what makes them up. Other things outside of Beachbody, what inspire them, their family, their job, the hobbies that they have. And it's important that you give the people the full picture, because if you're only showing them the Beachbody side, they're not going to see how you've made it a lifestyle. And if you're only sharing your real life side, they're not going to be able to see how you've integrated Beachbody into that. So it's so important that you find a nice balance.
Can I add one thing onto that, Michelle?
Please do.
Social media. I think remembering too that posting those things doesn't have to be pretty or fancy. You don't need to have all the social media tricks or how to make a reel or any of those things yet. You will over time get better. We all have. But you have to know that it doesn't have to be perfect or pretty or curated. It just has to be pieces of your life that you're sharing. So don't get hung up on comparing yourself on social media to other coaches that you see. Just share. Don't let the fear of not having it perfect yet stop you from sharing anything. That's my PSA.
No, that is a great point. Thank you so much. And again, you have to remember that we all started somewhere. Like a lot of us didn't know what we were doing, and you can't learn and grow unless you put yourself out there. And so again, like Kinsey said it perfectly, it doesn't need to be any curated content. That's honestly the biggest waste of time. Just like throwing something up that is meaningful to you. That's what people are going to connect to. That was great. Thank you. The next piece is inviting. And again, you need to help your coaches invite people that they know. The majority of coaches will be inviting people that they already have relationships with. So this is not, the focus is not inviting people that they don't know in real life, random people that are on Instagram, but it's really their friends, their family, their acquaintances, really within the first couple months of coaching. Because again, those are the people who want to see you succeed. So their focus when building their business in those first couple of months are not growing a following. It's not adding a whole bunch of new people to their network, but it's establishing connections with people that they have already have relationships with on social media. And we call this your warm market. All of those pieces about adding and growing your following and doing that comes later. So the focus really should be on the people that you connect with every single day. Another great tip is, I know it can seem overwhelming when you go to invite somebody, you don't know what to say. So here I've linked a Google Doc that Kinsey has put up in Team Fired Up about scripts that you can use to kind of invite to either a boot camp or coaching. And the key is you just need to make it personal. Make it sound like you're talking to them on the phone or you're sending them a text message. And so you might tweak it based on who you're sending it to. It's not a one size fits all model. It's really for you to find your own voice. And so if you type something out and you read it out loud and it doesn't really sound like you, then change it up, and that's okay. And it doesn't need to be anything lengthy. We oftentimes tend to overcomplicate the invitation process, where we just need to put it out there, make it short, make it simple. And if people are interested, they will reach out for more information once you have sent the initial invite. So again, you can see some examples here of if you make a social media post and somebody has liked or comment on it, you can just send a simple post or a simple message in your DMs and just say, hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for liking my post. I'd love to give you more info on my upcoming boot camp. Can I send you more information? No pressure. Again, keeping it light. It doesn't need to be anything. You don't need to lay out all the information about what a challenge group looks like, all of those pieces yet. You're just sending that initial invite to see if people are interested. And the same thing kind of applies if people are watching your stories on social media. Again, reaching out, say, hey, I'm not sure if you saw my story about my next boot camp starting, or have you ever thought about joining one of my boot camps? Again, if people are watching your stories as well, that's the opportunity to send an invite, because if they're constantly showing up on your social media, they probably are genuinely curious about what you are doing. And then the last one is inviting from polls. I know on Instagram and Facebook on the stories, they have the polls option. So again, if somebody takes your poll, again, that's like a big siren going off saying, hey, I want more information. So then reach out to them and find out what their health and fitness goals are. I think sometimes we try to make it just a one size fits all, but remember, everybody's at a different point in their life. Everybody needs something a little bit different. So really listen to what they need. What do they need support with? What do they need help with? What do they need guidance with? And if you can just really listen to and hear what they have to say, That is how you become successful. And then the last thing that I encourage my coaches to do after the first couple weeks is running a free group. So running a free group is a great way to help invite people without hesitation, right? Because it's absolutely free. But again, when you provide something free, you really need to keep it short. The reason that challenge group works is because it is at the perfect price point where people have to put a little bit of skin in the game, right? Like if they're going to spend $160 on a challenge pack, they're going to show up because they probably have their husband knocking on them for spending so much money for the 20th thing that they're going to try that's going to fail. But it's not going to fail because they have you. But again, so keeping free groups short will really help people to stay engaged and add value. And again, we're actually running a free group right now, a 5-day free group. And what we do to add value is we add all of those sample workouts that Beachbody has put out. So again, they're getting a little taste of what the workouts look like. And we run the group just like we would a normal challenge group. We're invested in the group. We're checking in with people. We're liking, we're commenting, we're following up with them, seeing how their workouts are going. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. I say it's great to run a group as a team or partner up with 1 or 2 other coaches so you have people supporting you in this. And again, at the end of the free group, you're always inviting to a paid challenge group at the end. And so this is kind of like a new coach timeline that I kind of set up is once a coach enrolls, I have them share their coming out post. They reach out to all of those people that have liked and commented on that post within that first week. So they're inviting to a paid challenge group. Then week 2, I really encourage them to do the U+3, inviting 3 people from that list of 50 people. So in their first 2 weeks of coaching, they're really focusing on those people who have liked and commented on their coming out posts and the people closest to them. Then week 3, in whatever the month is, they're running a free group for people who are kind of on the fence or on the sidelines or like kind of watching what you're doing, but don't want to commit yet. They run a free group to kind of get a little taste of what it's like. And then that week 4, they spend time following up with all those people that have been in their free group that they've invited to their paid challenge group to really start off the next month strong. So that's kind of how I help my coaches kind of lay it out and set themselves up for success. So again, doesn't matter how much inviting you do, but you have to be consistent on your social media. You have to be sharing your journey. You have to be inviting behind the scenes because just posting a workout selfie here and there, or you drinking your shake here isn't going to cut it because people really need to see the big picture. And that's why stories are so successful because they really get a day in the life of as a coach. They really get to see you, how you mesh your real life with health and fitness, how you measure life with coaching, and then they can see themselves doing that too. And I think that's all that I have for you guys, but I wanted to open it up to questions or to Kinsey if you had any other points to share.
I did not. That was fire, Michelle. That was so much good content. Like I wish I got that when I was a brand new coach. It would have simplified things, but I think you hit everything right on the head. One thing I wanted to add that we meant to announce at the top of the call was because this month is all about recruiting, and you're going to hear a lot of different ways that we recruit customers and coaches and preferred customers to our business this month. We are running the Emerald Again and Emerald Challenge, where we want to encourage you guys to join this challenge. You have to buy in for $5. We'll take that pot and then we'll match the total. And then anyone who adds 2 preferred customers or 2 coaches to their team this month, either or, that you get added into the drawing for the grand prize. And everyone who adds 2 PCs or 2 coaches will get a prize no matter what. So those people automatically will get a little gift in the mail from me, and it'll just be a really fun way to kind of push ourselves. I encourage anyone, whether you signed up yesterday or you've been a coach for 4 years, to do this challenge. Again, it can be preferred customers that join you, or you sign up coaches, and every time you sign up 2, your name gets added into the drawing. So your odds are better the more times you go Emerald and Emerald Again and Emerald Again. So I just want to mention that. And I did put it on all 3 team pages and my Venmo, so you can send your $5 and join in. It needs to be submitted by 9 p.m. tomorrow night Pacific time, and Wednesday I'll announce what the pot total is. So I just want to mention that.
That's awesome. That's a great way to jumpstart your business for sure. That's great. Any questions from anybody?
Someone did ask in the chat, if, can we get the PowerPoint separate from the team call too? Just have both?
Yes, I can definitely do that.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that was Megan that just said that, but yeah, Megan, it takes time in the beginning, and it's like having training wheels. You just kind of slowly start to breadcrumb things as you feel more comfortable sharing. And it is uncomfortable in the beginning, especially being newer to coaching. But really, like Michelle said, it's just sharing how Beachbody positively impacts your life. What are the good things that are happening in your life because of it? Like getting to hang out on a Monday night with people from all over the country. Like, it's pretty cool that we get to like connect with each other this way, and also in our groups and what motivation we get there. So just think, it doesn't have to be anything with a physical transformation, but just start to think of those positive things that Beachbody has brought to your life and just kind of start sharing about those.
No, thank you. And I just feel like I am a little slow moving right now. So yeah, but the presentation was definitely awesome. So appreciate that. And I'm going to make some personal goals myself in terms of just turning it up a little bit on my posts. I'm kind of silent, so.
That's okay. We all start somewhere. All right, you guys. Well, thank you, Michelle. That was fire. Loved it.
No problem. And yeah, feel free to reach out with any questions, and I'll get the PowerPoint, and I'll probably go and find those Google Docs and kind of bump them to the top of the page too.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for hopping on.